Part the Fourth. Annunaki, Lemurian, Saphyra, Namenir, myths beneath Starlight and Earth's core, the quiet source. Earth is no mere speck adrift in the frigid cosmos. It's a veiled arena where four races from distant dimensions left their marks on soil, ice, water, and flame, sculpting humanity's destiny. The Annunaki ancient tongue, Aseir, wielding power's fire from Mesopotamia, forged stone into skyward monuments. The Reptilians' ancient tongue, Saphyra, whispering from abyssal shadows, kindled fear and instinct in every heartbeat. The giants' ancient tongue, Namenir, ice-bound Colossi, stood silent between Arctic and Antarctic, guarding planetary memory in eternal frost. And the Lemurian ancient tongue, Althea, sang harmony's hymn from the Pacific, linking minds to the cosmos through waves and wind. They weren't mere creators, they were humanity's fathers and mothers, each bearing a fragment of Elohim's grand design. The Annunaki, stern fathers, taught us will's might and mastery over matter, raising us from dust to reach upward. Saphyra, mothers cloaked in dark, infused our flesh with survival's flame, forcing us to face fear and grow. Namenir, quiet fathers, bestowed eternal memory, ensuring we'd not forget our roots amid icy desolation. Lemurian, gentle mothers, murmured through water, guiding our hearts to pulse with far-off dimensions. This was no accident. Elohim, in timeless wisdom, chose Earth as the stage for a vast creative drama where evolution transcends survival, becoming a quest to expand consciousness through experience. Four races, like arms of the divine, molded humanity from primal clay, breathing third-dimensional life into chaos, so we might stride from shadow toward light. Every pain, triumph, ruin, or towering edifice is part of this plan, a song of evolution where humanity isn't just a product, but a co-creator with the universe. In the cosmos's deep dark, where stars hum their birth songs, a mighty will resonated, piercing dimensions. Elohim, architects beyond comprehension, opened time's gates, pathways linking the mystic sixth, the hazy fourth, and the tangible third. Thus, Earth ceased to drift alone. It became a sacred womb, cradling seeds of consciousness, awaiting their bloom into grand civilizations. The four pillars of humanity, Elohim's cosmic plan, the architecture of consciousness and dialectical evolution. Beneath a fathomless sky, where stars gleam like the eyes of ancient beings tracing time's flow, Earth was more than a rock adrift in the cold void. Billions of years ago, as fire and water swirled in primal chaos, it became a vast philosophical experiment, a living canvas where consciousness from higher realms sought form within the third dimension's harsh bounds. From the sixth dimension, Elohim, formless light beings unbound by time or space, existing as pure intense vibrations, gazed upon this small orb with vision beyond matter's grasp. They didn't craft a flawless world from the start. They designed a dialectical process where refined awareness from lofty planes could live, die, and evolve ceaselessly. Elohim's plan wasn't a fixed blueprint, but an open path, each life stage a step in a dialogue between chaos and order, ignorance and awakening. From single-celled drifters in the Pacific's nascent seas, where water held dead stars' memories, to the first amphibians treading East Africa's Great Rift Valley. Red soil, every evolutionary leap proved a dialectical truth. No growth without division, no consciousness roused without conflict to overcome. To manifest sixth-dimensional awareness, where all realities meld in boundless light within the third, a bridge was needed, the fourth dimension, where spirit and matter intertwine, linked to the physical through tangible beings. This division wasn't a war of good and evil, but a profound philosophical principle, positive and negative, life and death, mind and emotion, are vital forces forging evolution. DNA, that miraculous double helix, isn't mere biology, it's a cosmic library, each spiral a tome of billions of years from the ocean's first tremors to the first breaths on land. Yet, for DNA to bridge matter and consciousness, vanguard forces were required, star-born entities delivering data to Earth, shaping it into a planet that not only lives, but thinks, feels, and grows. Elohim didn't need clay or breathe into stone. They sowed invisible seeds, subtle codes, and entrusted 4 races to enact them: Annunaki Aseir, Reptilians, Saphyra, Giants Namenir, and Lemurian Althea. These are humanity's 4 pillars, 4 winds swirling through time, leaving traces on sacred lands and in our wordless dreams. Annunaki Aseir, builders from fire and clay. As Earth simmered in primal chaos, where molten red clashed with boiling seas, they descended from golden clouds, the Annunaki, or Aseir in ancient tongue, towering beings with muscles like Greek gods, eyes sharp as mountain flames. From dying planets, guided through Orion's blazing gate 50,000 years ago by Elohim's will, they weren't ethereal like the Pacific's Lemurian. They embodied earth and fire creation and power's twin elements, bearing a dual mission: to forge civilization's framework for humanity and harvest resources to revive their distant worlds. They settled in the Middle East, from the Zagros' rugged peaks to Mesopotamia's fertile plains, where rich soil and mineral-laden stone, gold, copper lay ripe. Here they shaped humans from Tigris and Euphrates' soft clay, as told in Sumer's Enuma Elish and the Bible Genesis 2:7, where God forms Adam from dust, breathing life into his nostrils. In Islam, the Quran Surah Al-Hijr 15:26 echoes this, crafting man from dri, wringing clay like pottery, a parallel to the Anunnaki, molding with earth and their fiery dominion. They raised vast stone works from Baalbek's megaliths in Lebanon to Mesopotamia's sturdy foundations, and Egypt's early pyramids, symbols of material might and control. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, among the oldest temples, stands as their first mark, where humans knelt to them as gods. The Anunnaki's philosophy was a dialectic of earth and fire, stability and transformation. They embodied Elohim's Western facet transcendence through power and creation. Unlike Lemurian's telepathy, they spoke in resonant, fire-like tongues, passing star-born knowledge via Sumer's first clay-etched words, the language of the gods, lifting humanity from instinct to creators. Yet their mission split them. Enlil's faction sought to exploit humans as resources, wielding fear and authority to harness emotion as fourth-dimensional energy. Enki's aimed to impart knowledge for self-evolution, a salvation from their origin's doom. Beyond earth and fire, they allied with Saphyra, dark whisperers, to bolster power through the serpent wisdom and fear entwined. As in Eden's snake, Genesis 3:1, or Sumer's bronze serpent, they saw human minds and hearts as cosmic conduits, tapping fear and despair, primal flames. Saphyra ignited in our blood. Enlil's iron grip stoked terror with demonic visages, cowing humanity, while Enki whispered creation's spark, urging us past shadow with our own will. The Anunnaki gifted sacred geometry. Humans first counted reality on 10 fingers matter's limit, but they stretched perception to 12, reflecting 12 zodiac signs, 12 apostles, Matthew 10:2-4, 12 Shia imams, 13, the heartbeat's pulse, linked to cosmic unity. Taoism's onness is Islam's heart of faith. Quran, Surah Ash-Shar 94:1. In Atlantis, they taught 3x10 spirit, soul, body merged with 12 realities, yielding 360, the perfect sphere, a year cycle. Yet perfection wasn't the goal. Lucifer, sixth-dimensional light-bearer of defiance, intervened, stretching 360 to 365 days, warping time and space. In the Bible, Lucifer Satan lures humanity from God, Genesis 3:1-5. In Islam, Shaitan tests growth, Quran Surah al-Baqarah 236. This distortion wasn't a curse, but evolution's gift: 5 stray days, 5 errant beats, urging humanity beyond clay to seek meaning in imperfection, ever reaching for God's mind. Elohim embraced this, making Earth a crucible where consciousness is born, tested, and matured through the universe's endless rhythms. Reptilian Saphyra, whisperers from the dark, beneath Earth's depths, where starlight dares not reach. Another force rose in Elohim's cosmic scheme: Saphyra, beings of shadow and instinct, cold as the subsurface, gazes sharp as blades. Unlike the sky descended Annunaki with their fiery rule, Saphyra emerged from Earth itself, or, some say, lower dimensions, where raw life melds with fear's primal tremors. They embody Elohim's eastern facet existence through emotion and manipulation. Keepers of darkness to test consciousness's light, Saphyra built no towering ziggurats or pyramids. They lurked in deep caves from Zagros's hollows to Middle Eastern deserts, hidden realms where shadow was their domain. Scales hard as stone clad them, emerald eyes glinted in the black, voices hissed like wind through fissures. No fiery tongue, like the Anunnakis. They spoke in subtle vibrations, seeping into minds, rousing deepest fears of death, loss, solitude in a frigid cosmos. Their philosophy was a dialectic of instinct and awareness, necessary dark against fragile light. In the Bible, their Eden serpent Genesis 3:1-5, whispering knowledge and fall to Eve. In Islam, Shaitan Quran, Surah al-Araf 7:11-18 tempts, not to destroy, but to challenge humanity's inner shadow. From Zagros, where Anunnaki recast their serpent as power, Saphyra made it manipulation's emblem, wisdom laced with dread. They mastered emotion, mining fear as potent energy, driving humans by instinct over will. As Anunnaki shaped clay and breathed life, Saphyra sowed inner strife: heart versus mind, assent versus dread. In Sumerian myth, they might tie to Ninhursag, life's goddess yet dark manipulator beneath the earth. They didn't act alone. In shadow's depths, they joined Anunnaki, amplifying power through the serpent, dual symbol of Orion's wisdom and Earth's fear. As Anunnaki landed in Mesopotamia, Saphyra whispered from caves, teaching the serpent's sway, as in Sumer's bronze snake or Eden's tempter. They saw emotion, fear, despair as fourth-dimensional gates, energy to tap. In humanity's dawn, Saphyra sparked matriarchal seeds, teaching women energy's vessels to wield emotion as a key to dimensions. But as Anunnaki rose with fiery might, they eclipsed Saphyra's light, seizing emotional wisdom to control, not uplift, turning humanity into their endless fuel. This Earth-Shadow alliance was Elohim's dialectic, Saphyra's dark testing Anunnaki's flame. If Anunnaki brought order, Saphyra brought chaos, two sides of evolution's coin. In Taoism, yin-yang mirrors this. Saphyra's dark nurtures consciousness's light, like deep soil, feeding skyward seeds. The Indus Valley, steeped in serpent lore, and Gobi's tales of snake people beneath, mark their trace. No stone relics endure, but their imprint scars humanity's soul in haunting dreams. Ancient snake rites of Mesopotamia and Egypt, serpents twining life trees in Norse lore. Whisperers from the dark, they remind us, to reach God's mind we must face fear, transcend instinct, and find light in our soul's deep earth. Giants Namenir, Colossi of ice and polar realms. On boundless white plains of ice at Earth's poles, where breath turns to frozen mist, a colossal race stood silent amid time's flow. Namenir, giants of frost, one of Elohim's 4 pillars shaping humanity's fate. Not sky fallen like Anunnaki, nor earth born like Saphyra. They arose from Earth's harshness, bearing ice's might and polar stillness. They embody Elohim's northern facet, challenged through matter and environment, keepers of planetary memory in eternal ice. Namenir towered beyond human scale, golden eyes blazing like flames in icy night, yet they built no kingdoms, swayed no minds. They dwelt apart on frozen wastes, from Arctic chill to Antarctic void, where ice became home, archive, and dimensional gate. Unlike Annunnaki's skyward ziggurats, they left simple stone circles in Scandinavia, massive blocks in Greenland, not to rule, but to mark cosmic junctions. In Norse myth, they echo Jotun ice giants clashing with gods, yet Namenir sought no power. They guarded ice memories eons locked in frozen depths. Their philosophy was a dialectic of stillness and trial, ice's permanence against time's flux. No cultures or whispers, they stood as sentinels, tending spatial channels, gates like the Arctic's, noted by Annunaki, sustaining energy's flow across dimensions. Beyond memory keeping, Namenir gathered Earth's data into singular points, spatial gates, where ice and stone met the cosmos. From pole to pole, their circles and ice blocks anchored history, awaiting patient decoders. As early humans trod frozen lands, Namenir loomed as reluctant teachers, not through words, but presence forcing adaptation to cold, hunger, polar solitude. No star-born lore like Annunnaki's. They taught Earth and Ice's lessons, patience, endurance, reverence for the unchanging. These gates weren't mere paths, but consciousness's bridges, storing higher realm data for humanity's eventual grasp of God's mind through Frost's quiet. In the Bible, they might tie to pre-flood giants Genesis 6:4, not hybrid Nephilim, but primal beings before fire and stone. In Islam, Gog and Magog Quran, Surah Al-Kahf 1894, sealed giants of distant lands hint at Namenir's retreat into deep caves beneath poles. As Earth evolved, its surface shifted too swiftly for their stillness. Like Saphyra, they withdrew underground into Arctic and Antarctic tunnels where ice holds their past. In Taoism, this mirrors yin-yang, as humanity's yang light, growth rose. Namenir's yin dark, quiet, receded for balance. Their legacy isn't grand works, but Stonehenge's rings, drifting ice shards, symbols of endurance and fragility. Colossi of ice and poles, they didn't dominate or exploit, but challenged and preserved, urging us past inner fear and outer harshness to God's mind from frozen caves where they rest. The dialectic of four pillars, from individual consciousness to global civilization. Four races: Saphyra, Namenir, Lemurian, Annunaki aren't fleeting shadows in Earth's memory. They're four beats of a cosmic heart, four quadrants of Elohim's sacred sphere, with humanity at the center, facing itself in a vast dialectical play. Not lone entities, they're a symphony of water, air, earth, and fire elements clashing, testing and lifting human consciousness from personal dark to global light. This structure rests on sacred numbers. 3 times 10 spirit, soul, body unites as 30, third-dimensional awareness in each being. 12 realities, time and space, entwined, blend with 360 degrees of the perfect sphere, until Lucifer's warped 6th-dimensional light stretched it to 365 days. This imperfection isn't a curse, but a wind pushing humanity beyond limits toward God's mind. The east-west dance of Lemurian and Annunaki forms a cosmic rhythm, sunrise to sunset keeping. Earth's consciousness awake, a cycle beyond geography, calling us past self into the whole. This dialectic isn't serene. Saphyra unlocks the 4th dimension with fear and despair, turning emotion into exploited energy yet teaching survival's might. Annunaki, dual-faced, sow ambition and power burning Babel's tower while gifting knowledge like Prometheus to light the way. Namenir stands mute, archiving cycles in ice, a sentinel awaiting humanity's readiness. Lemurian leads with harmony's song, challenging us to shed self for collective awareness, their legacy a beacon in the forgotten sea. As their era closed, humanity shaped its own fate, from Göbekli Tepe Earth and Fire's crossroads to Chichen Itza, where harmony and wisdom weave. Shamanic cultures of Siberia, Andes, and Polynesia inherited creation's flame and waves hum. In Taoism, water and air are yin, earth and fire yang, swirling in balance. Buddhism's no self anatta echoes Lemurian's call to merge with the cosmos. These elements aren't mere matter, they're Elohim's four queries. Will fire illuminate or consume? Will water unite or divide? Will memory guide through shadow? Will instinct empower or bind? From deep caves to sky-piercing ziggurats, icy libraries to resonant oceans, humanity's path is self-transcendence, anchored by consciousness's 10-10-10. Each soul a star in an endless sky, we build a global civilization not to conquer, but to pulse as Elohim's final note in this cosmic symphony.